Gavin Newsom is being sued by the California Republican Party, a California state lawmaker, and now the Department of Justice has joined in on the fight. Last week, following the election and passing of Proposition 50, the California Republican Party announced that they were suing California Governor Gavin Newsom over the new maps, with Assemblymember David Tongipa serving as the lead plaintiff. This Thursday, the DOJ has announced that they've joined them in suing the governor. The lawsuit argues that the Prop 50 maps are unconstitutional and racially discriminatory, in that they violate the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment and the Voting Rights Act. For those of you who don't know, Proposition 50 was a ballot measure in California for a state constitutional amendment that would pause the California Citizens Redistricting Commission, the independent bipartisan commission that California uses to draw congressional maps. The bill was paired with a new map that was drawn for the purpose of politically gerrymandering that would go into effect through 2030. Democrats argued these new maps were for the purpose of negating the 5 Republican seats drawn up by Texas, adding up to 5 Democrat seats in California. However, Paul Mitchell, who was brought on by Democrat lawmakers to draw the new congressional maps, publicly admitted that racial gerrymandering was the first thing he wanted to do with the new maps, claiming that he wanted to create a new majority-minority Latino district. Additionally, during hearings and debates over Prop 50, several lawmakers gave racially driven reasons for their support rather than political ones. And no, this is not to remedy diluted Latino votes. The 2021 maps were approved by the VRA. This is clearly for the purpose of either suppressing or bolstering voters on the basis of race. This is evident especially when looking at the District 13 lines on the new maps, which don't make sense from a political gerrymandering perspective, as the lines go out of their way to skip over heavily Democrat populated areas, even though this is the stated goal of redrawing this district. The map lines skip over these areas and go out of their way to pick up more rural Republican areas. The kicker is these more densely populated areas are predominantly made up of white Democrats, while the rural areas picked up are predominantly made up of Hispanic Republicans. So when you look at the maps from a racially driven angle, the motivation becomes obvious. If the lawsuit is successful, the Proposition 50 map will be barred from being implemented and the 2021 congressional maps will remain in effect, but the uncertainty with the maps is already creating a lot of turmoil with congressional incumbents and candidates trying to figure out what to do for the upcoming midterm elections. I will be watching very closely to see how this all plays out, especially with December 19th, the unofficial start date of the 2026 congressional campaigns, approaching us very quickly.